That is 16-year-old me, just about to begin my 10-day adventure that would change my life. This is the story of the Ocean Stars Trust and the people who are behind the amazing work they do, both internationally and at home.
So my name is Delani and I'm 57 years old. I founded Ocean Stars Trust in January 2005 and I'm now the operations manager of the charity. So when the tsunami happened on Boxing Day 2004, I was watching the TV and saw the images of destruction in Sri Lanka, and I still remember the moment I was sitting on the sofa and I felt an overwhelming desire to do something to help the children and families that had been affected by the tsunami and whose lives had been shattered by the event. So I felt that the moment had come for me when I wanted to reconnect with the country that I had been born in, and also felt I wanted to give something back, having benefited from an education in the West.
And JJ's actually lived on the same road.
No.
In his life, not the same. Until he was like year 9. I know, it's crazy.
Yeah, I know. Literally every year we're like, yeah.
What is all this stuff?
It's like
Souvenirs,
yes.
memories.
Souvenirs and memorabilia from the trip and everything that the trip involved. So like fundraising items,
Stuff that they gave us,
Yeah.
which was this and the trophy,
little reminders like our boarding passes and
what we wore,
yeah.
prep stuff as well, like our little badges.
What does all this stuff on the table make you think about? Like, what do you think of when you...
All the memories of Sri Lanka and like the trip just come flooding back, and
You think you've forgotten it, but then you see this stuff and
Yeah.
you realise that you remember every single second.
yeah,
Like each little thing
has a
brings
story.
you to a different day, a different location that you were at. So
Do you think you remember things that maybe you forgot because of these objects?
yeah,
Yeah,
I think
definitely. Or like details of specific things. So, like for this trophy we got when we after the sports day at one of the schools, and that's like quite easy to forget what type
Yeah.
of activities we did there, but then it all comes back.
It's also little stuff like looking at the hoodies and the t-shirts. You think, I remember the day that I wore the white t-shirt and like we went on like the seesaw, or we like went to the school, and like the day that we wore the hoodie, like we went to the variety evening, like little stuff.
Well, once I had formulated this idea in my mind that I wanted to go to Sri Lanka and do something, then I had to just start somewhere, and I go to the Methodist Church in Fleet, and I contacted the minister at the church and I asked him if I could just, if I could tell them about my plans to go to Sri Lanka and do something to help the people. So he was very kind. He said that would be fine. So I stood up and I just told them that I wanted to go back to Sri Lanka and help the children and the families who had been devastated by the tsunami.
I'm Heather and I am 76 years old. My involvement with Ocean Stars is that I've been out to Sri Lanka. I've supported Ocean Stars since 2004-5. Just after the Boxing Day tsunami, the week or 2 weeks after, Delani got up in church and she told us what her plans were to help the children in Sri Lanka, especially on the East Coast where they'd suffered great losses. And she just wanted, being a teacher herself, she wanted the little ones to have some tutoring. I think it's humbling, really, to go out there and see these little ones who have nothing, but they're still smiling. You know, in adversity, they're smiling. At the moment, I've got a project on where I'm trying to raise funds so that every child in preschool will have access to a chair and to sit down at a table. I do have a picture of my sponsored child, and that's her when I saw her in 2015. but she's just lovely, absolutely lovely. This is a picture of the children in their preschool. They're drawing, I think they're colouring in hats there, teddy bears, and their hats on. And here's a nice picture of a little boy going home after preschool. He's actually sitting in the basket, and here's a photograph of a bicycle being presented.
Thank you very much. No words. Thank you very much.
After this church service, a lady who I had never met before, called Shona, she came up to me and she said that if I ever wanted to register as a charity and go down that route, that she was happy to help me to do that. But from that point in January till I went in March, I managed to raise around £10,000, and so that got me thinking. And then when I went to Sri Lanka and actually saw the need and all the requests that I was getting, I came back and I decided to contact Shona, and we had a meeting, and then she began the ball rolling in registering Ocean Stars as a charity. So that was sort of
The origin.
the origin. Yeah.
So my name is Dan Bunter. I have been a volunteer on Ocean Stars trips on, I think, 4 separate occasions, and have fundraised for the charity in a variety of ways. I'm also the son of the founder, Delani Bunter, and so therefore I've had quite a personal connection with the charity since the beginning in 2005. So for context, prior to my last visit to Sri Lanka, which was with the Ocean Stars team in 2017, in October 2017, I was commissioned by the Ocean Stars trustees to actually start to lay the foundations for kind of impact measurement work. The trustees particularly felt that now is the time to start to really kind of focus on impact and to make the kind of understanding that Ocean Stars is having a positive impact in the region more measurable and more visual by collecting data, analysing the data, and putting together various different impact reports in the coming years. So in October 2017 I started a baseline communities and livelihoods assessment in preschool locations in Batticaloa, with a view to continuing the project within the next 6 months to essentially understand the communities that Ocean Stars is working with. So the baseline assessment was interviewing mothers of preschool children, putting together a questionnaire of kind of socio-economic themed questions. So types of things you wanted to understand was what is the household income for a family of an Ocean Stars preschool child? What is the daily routine for a mother? What is the employment status within the family? What is the level of education amongst the parents of preschool children? All of these kinds of questions which Ocean Stars just currently does not know about the communities.
So our vision is a Sri Lanka where every child has equal opportunity, and our mission is to identify and overcome the barriers to equal opportunity for children in Sri Lanka through education and social enrichment, sharing international friendship, hope and joy. And in my travels I realized how the children in rural villages just did not have the same access to education and opportunities as the children in towns, and so that is where inspiration for our mission statement came from. Also, these children in rural villages, I realized, would never ever get the chance to travel to England, so I decided that I would like to take England to them.
I'm Ross Walker, I'm Head of Music at Calthorpe Park School, and I'm involved in organising our part of the trip to Sri Lanka. So today the students have been thinking about the activities that they're going to prepare when they're in Sri Lanka, and working with the students, the kind of activities that they'll do, either sporting activities or craft activities during their stay.
We're just planning really how we're going to fundraise and what we're going to do when we get to the schools, making sure we've all got it sorted so that we're not stressed when it comes to the time, really.
Yeah, and we're just making sure we've got enough money to buy all the resources and
making sure, and also making sure not to buy too many so that
we don't waste anything.
Yeah.
Ocean Stars Trust does amazing work in Sri Lanka because it benefits hugely our friends in Sri Lanka, the students that we work with, but also it really has a profound impact on the students that we take to Sri Lanka. I think they can very easily think that everybody in the world lives a similar life to them, and we visit Sri Lanka and suddenly discover that people are living quite a different life to them, and it's of great interest, and it promotes new friendships on the trip. The principal at Sri Sithi Vinayaga School wrote to us to explain her thoughts and the impact that our visit had on her school, and she talked about how the students gaining confidence over the time that we're there. They have lots of time to practice their spoken English. She also talked about how over time the exam results for her school have improved significantly, and all of the other head teachers of local schools have come to ask her, how is it that your results have improved so much? And given that nothing else has really changed in her school, she can only put that down to the impact that Ocean Stars visits have had on her school.
So in the short term, we just want to consolidate the work we do in Sri Lanka. We have grown so much in the last 5 years, and we want to make sure that our operations are sound and financially secure. We just don't want to grow too quickly. And also we want to make sure that our preschools are outstanding and that our staff in Sri Lanka have all the required opportunities and training to make them outstanding in their work. I mean, we have lots of preschools on our waiting list, but rather than just take on preschools and not be able to sustain them, we just want to consolidate what we are doing for the next 2 or 3 years and then think about moving forward.
So my name is Jake and I'm 20 years old. First heard about them in 2013, I think. We heard about them at Calford Park, and me and a few friends thought about going on a trip, and it ended up sort of materialising. The sort of things we do out there is mainly sort of working with the kids. So we would do lessons for the kids, so we'll prepare the lessons beforehand. And that's just like loads of fun. That's really cool. So the one thing that sticks with me from both of the trips was me teaching a deaf guy to play dominoes. I mean, obviously he was so happy. He seemed so happy that he was learning something new and so humble. And obviously there was a huge barrier, not just language barrier, but the fact that this guy was deaf and I don't know any sign language or anything like that, and we still managed to communicate. Again, it sounds so cliche, but it really does make you a bit of a better person.
It's a beautiful beach in Sri Lanka, which seems.
Because you become so much more conscious of everything around you, of like the way that other people live. You're conscious of another culture, that not everyone lives the same way as you.
I'm actually like in awe of this place. It's pretty amazing.
Ocean Stars is so much different to all the other charities because it's so small and local. Like, it's so much easier to sort of see what is going on behind the scenes and know where the money is going, which I think is so great about the charity. In the future, I hope to go out to Sri Lanka again. I've been saying it for too long, but I'm hoping to go out, hopefully this summer. A lot of people have a charity that is close to their heart, and I'm very happy to sort of say that this is my charity that I'd hold close to my heart.
One of the biggest differences, if you take a big international NGO, is that I guess my personal connection with Sri Lanka and my contacts. So for me, every time I go to Sri Lanka, I'm reconnecting with my homeland, and I think that makes the friendships with the people very special, And all the volunteers who go to Sri Lanka always tell me that they feel part, not of a big charity, but a part of an Ocean Stars family. And I think a testimony to that is that volunteers keep coming back and back. I think the record is 7 returns at the moment. I think it's the fact that we are a small charity based in a small town makes us fairly unique. So this is the hub of Ocean Stars Trust, if you like, because this is the office where it all happens. And quite often when I'm on the ground in Sri Lanka and I visit projects, and when we open new classrooms, and I cut ribbons, and there are all these famous people, and there are speeches and everything, and I always think back to this little office. It's due to everything that has gone on here, that I find myself on the ground in Sri Lanka being able to do these amazing things. It's the machine, if you like, of Ocean Stars, this room.
So my name's Rachel, and I have been involved with Ocean Stars for a few years, and I first got involved by taking a group of students out from Calthorpe Park School over to Sri Lanka for 10 days. In the office we do a lot of administration work to help, with the general sort of running of Ocean Stars. So things like photocopying or laminating. Now 2 trips that run every year. There's a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes that you don't really know about. So today I have put in the statement that the students have written for the forthcoming trip in July. They've all got booklets. They write their thoughts and feelings about the trip. So there's a lot of work that goes on that you don't really think about. There's a lot of work that goes on for each trip, before and after, as well as all the fundraising that happens throughout the year.
I
bought you something.
What are these? Oh.
Do you know what they are?
Yeah, they're pictures from Sri Lanka. That's the safari. That's when we saw the tribe, and that one's at the school.
Did you keep any of your stuff?
Oh yeah. So this is like one of the letters that the kids that I sponsored sent me. So that's a Christmas card. May this Christmas end present year on a cheerful note, and make way for a fresh and bright new year. Here's wishing you a Merry Christmas. And then I've got a letter that they sent me as well. They refer to me as Mum. It's really nice to hear from them, I think, because especially from the actual person.
So in the longer term, we would like to register Ocean Stars Lanka as an all-island NGO, that we would be recognised in all of Sri Lanka for the work we do. And our director of Ocean Stars Lanka said his dream is to make Ocean Stars Lanka the #1 NGO in the Eastern region.